Hey YouTube, as the title says, hit legend this season, so that is 17 of the last 18. Last season being the first time I had not hit in 16. There would have been 17 seasons straight I did if I hit last season, but did not hit last season. So 17 of 18, I hit it in Fossil Cup with this team, which is the same team I showcased yesterday. But you should know that the majority of the heavy lifting was done by an Ultra League team. I went from about 2,500 to 2,850 with Pidgeot, Annihilate, Registeel in the Ultra League, and I will showcase that team next week and definitely give it a shout out that it got me to 2850, but then 2850 to Legend 3029 was done by this team. And we saw this team yesterday. Togedemaru, Jellicent, Ferrothorn. It's the ABA style team from the subscriber where they said they went from 2,300 to 3,000, and I did 7 sets because I hit it Sunday morning. I did all 5 Saturday and 2 Sunday, and I went positive 6 of the sets and 1 negative set. I went 2-3. So it is a very, very good team. Again, you need to know how to play Togedemaru a little bit, how to know when to bait, when to throw, especially against like matchups like Lanturn and stuff like that. So I'll go through some of those matchups now. Give you an idea how to play it. So let's go. So Mantine is obviously a great lead. They're going to get out into something. That something is SCAV. So because they took a little time to get out, like I was basically already on my 3rd Thundershock, throwing the Wild Charge here makes sense to me because it basically one-shots, so they're likely to shield. And then when you grab a shield, yes, you took a little bit of counter damage, but grabbing that shield is huge. I'm going to shield back. Not that I'm worried that a Drill-Run's going to take me out or anything, but I just really want to come out with... one, I'm just matching shields. 2, I'm coming out with 100 energy here because I basically want to try and throw 2 Shadow Balls on the... actually, you know what? I'm probably trying to burn the switch clock a little here too. I would not be surprised if I get out into like Ferrothorn or Togedemaru here because I'm worried about an ABB style team. Yes, so you can see me coming. That's exactly why I'm doing it. So, Mantine lead, safe swap as an SCAV. And the only reason you're safe swap in SCAV is if you may have like a double fighter in the back or a double steel in the back, in which case like Ferrothorn would have a little bit of trouble. So I'm keeping Jellicent alive in case it is a double fighter in the back, because then I may be weak to fighting. You don't really want to leave 2 things weak to fighting left with a fighter. So it does have a Quagsire in the back, so I would have been okay with Ferrothorn, but Togedemaru obviously would not have a good matchup there. Okay, Lanturn lead. If you throw a Wild Charge before they throw Surf, they're going to one-shot you. So my opponent knows this, and we're just playing a game of chicken. Like, how much energy are you going to go to? The problem is now they got to 100 energy, which means that they have 2 Surfs. So 2 Surfs are going to take me out anyways. So they're going to get a shield from me right here anyways, which is okay. Because now I'm going to outpace to the 2nd and 3rd Wild Charge. So if we go to the 1 shield here, I can just go back-to-back Wild Charges to take this out. So they may let it go and just take shield advantage, or I'm going to go back-to-back Wild Charges, so they do let it go. What comes in? SCAV. Often with this team, you'll see I fight for switch. Like, I fight for switch a lot. Just because Jellicent and Ferrothorn cover each other's weaknesses so well. Case in point, getting the Jellicent on the SCAV and getting the Ferrothorn on the Ludicolo. So throwing the neutral Power Up and Thunder are both neutral. I'm not worried about any move here, so I'm just going to let it go. Scald does chip. Looks my attack is lowered. Not that it matters. Razor Leaf takes a long time to get to a move, so I'm just going to go to back-to-back moves here. And then take this out, and if they come in SCAV, I can probably get to a Thunder here, which is, again, 1, just burning the switch clock. 2, putting it just in Surf range is just as strong, right? Because now I don't need the Shadow Ball. I can just go Surf, and yeah. Once I won lead, I won that game. Sandslash. Sandslash is tricky. So you're getting to the drill runs and ice punch and you outpace to the Wild Charge because it's 5 or 6 it's 5 or 6. So to the drill run. So I outpace there. Now that I threw the move, they could throw Ice Punch. Probably should have counted and threw the Fell Stinger there. Because now I have to double shield. I probably should have just threw the Fell Stinger to only have to burn 1 shield there. I am double boosted, so I'm going to try to go back-to-back wild charges here, but I don't know if I'm going to get to it before I get taken out here. Actually, I'm single boosted. So I do get taken out there. I do grab one shield, which is okay. But now, Ferrothorn, Jellicent, now I'm going to try and like save the Ferrothorn to try and sweep here. I'm already not liking how I'm playing this, quite honestly. It's tough. It's tough in hindsight to look back being like, this double shield cost. I mean, one, I should have thrown the Felstinger immediately on the lead. So that's not the main problem. That is the main problem. The main problem is I should not have burned 2 shields on the lead without getting one back from them. I don't mind burning 2 shields, but as long as I get one from them, I can't go down 2-0 there. But then I'm like, I did align Quagsire and thing, but there's an argument to be made that once I saw the Quagsire, I basically have Jellicent and Ferrothorn, which can kind of both handle handle Quagsire. So I probably, instead of getting farmed down with Togedemaru, I probably should have banked that wild charge and got into Jellicent. So I think that probably would have been a better use of it. So 2 things I did wrong there was not throw the Felstinger on the Sandslash to take it out and save the shield. And then when I saw the Quagsire, you have 2 answers better in the back. You need to make that instant swap. So lost that matchup because I did not play that well. So Sandslash again. This time going again right when they get to the drill run. I'm going for this wild charge, hoping that they do throw a drill run here, like we see CMP on drill run, because then I'd outpace to the next move. It is just an ice punch. So the thing is, I outpace anyways because it's 5. So I over farm here, knowing that I already grabbed a shield, that I can hopefully get to 2 wild charges here is what I'm banking on. So throwing the 1 here, and I'm hoping I can go 1 more and then just win CMP here, and that's exactly what happens. So taking it in the 2 shield, just the spamminess here, and that is huge. Again, when you can take switch with this team, it is huge. Jellicent, so now we'll get the Ferrothorn on this. They'll still chip me with Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball. So that's fine. I'm going to definitely do more than chip with Power Whip. So this will put it low. Question is, can I Bullet Seed down before they get 2 Shadow Balls off? So there's 1, because the second would take me out, and they come in Mantine. I'm hoping I can get to... I was hoping I can get to the Thunder. I kind of realized Mantine's too spammy. I can't get to the Thunder, so I need to chip this to put it in Shadow Ball range. At the same time, Jellicent has some energy, so I need to come out with enough energy on my end to basically just go Shadow Ball here and surf the Jellicent. So you're going to see a huge overfarm here as much as I can before. I don't want to take another move because I can't. So I got to overfarm a bit to get that Shadow Ball off and put this within Hex and Surf range to take them out here. So just kind of, those are the types of things like recognizing your win con, how much you need to overfarm, stuff like that. Mantine's a great lead, so they'll get out into something here. It is a Swampert. So I shield the first move here, assuming that Swampert's a terrible safe swap in general in this meta, because if you're safe swapping Swampert, you can be hit with a Ferrothorn, you can get hit with a Ludicolo, you can get hit with a Poliwrath. There's so many things that beat Swampert. So if you're doing Swampert's okay because it has Earthquake and it can grab shields from a lot of things and try and do like a ABB type style team. So that's why I figured they'd throw Earthquake. An Earthquake would still chip, and if they land an Earthquake, then they're more likely to just go Hydro the second time. So I figured that it's probably worth the shield, which is why I shielded there. I assume at this point they're going to just try and go 2 shield whatever's in the back, let this go, come Mantine, try and chip a bunch, and what do I know? Poliwrath in the back, so I'll get to a move, and now you just have alignment. Okay, that was kind of a weird... I don't know why they swap Swampert in. But okay, I grabbed a shield. I can now just eat all this energy on the Jellicent. They're going to lower my attack multiple times now. And they're Shadow, so like it's not like these counter and Icy Winds won't add up. It will add up pretty quick here. But I do get to a Shadow Ball. I wonder if they try and save this because they kind of need it. No, they just let it go. But then they're going to have a lot of trouble on the front end there. Yeah, so why am I showing you this weird matchup? Because it was a 5-0. That got me to 29-71. Like I said, I only lost one set with the Team 2-3. 5-0 here, 4-1 in my Legend set. So there's 29-71 and a bunch of 3-2s, and you're going to see some of them coming up here. So Lanturn, we've seen this. We can't throw the Wild Charge right away or else they're going to one-shot Surf me. So we're kind of playing who's going to throw first. And once they finally throw, I'm like, okay, advantage to me. I can now take this out here with double Wild Charge. Or if they shield, we'll play out different shield scenarios here. But in general, we're fighting for switch here. So again, I can go down. I can just come in with Ferrothorn and start farming. But if I'm going to come in with Ferrothorn and start farming, I'm going to do this with them being down shields is the plan. So I don't care if I lose switch here. So it's either win switch in the 1 or lose switch, but get them down to the 0, which makes Ferrothorn much stronger. And luckily, I win switch, I chip, I now have good enough chip there, and there is your alignment. So again, I can't emphasize enough. If you can take switch, take switch. I fight for it a lot, and rightfully so, because it's just such a powerful alignment there. Okay, so here's your Poliwrath. And unfortunately, it's a Shadow Poliwrath, which means I have no shot of even getting off 2 moves, but I'm going to try. No, I'm probably not going to try, yeah. When you have no shot of getting off 2 moves, the bait there isn't worth it. Non-Shadow, it is worth baiting, but the Shadow, the counters are going to add up, so it's not worth baiting there. Unfortunately, this is the scenario you can get in with these ABA-style lines. Why would you stay in with the Togedemaru unless you are ABA weak to Poliwrath? So you can just instant swap here. I'm like maybe trying to take switch, shield the Hurricane, trying to take switch. The switch timers are still pretty distinct here. So if they come in with something else, I can maybe get into Ferrothorn and have a little bit of time before the Poliwrath comes back in. So we'll see what comes in here. They're smartly burning out the switch clock. Out comes a Registeel. And Registeel is pretty freaking tough for this team in the back end. Togedemaru can take it. Jellicent and Ferrothorn cannot. So I will get off a Thunder here. They actually probably just get the farm down, which is even worse here because then they're coming out with a move, which means this matchup is pretty over. I do get a Shadow Ball off, but if they shield, they're still at a Shadow Ball range, so I need a Shadow Ball plus the Surf. And if they lower my attack, and they're probably going to outpace to the move anyway, so this is all for naught, I think. They lower my attack, and now Poliwrath with moves even takes out the rest of me here. So, I'm not going to lie, fighter leads are tough. I did win one crazy one that I think I put in here with an SCAV lead. Like SCAV, non-Shadow Poliwrath, those I do bait. Fellstinger. So here's an SCAV one. I will go to Wild Charge and I will probably bait Fellstinger here. Because if you can get the shield here, because they can think you're going to Wild Charge and bail. So they do shield. And if they don't throw, you get to a second move here. So this will grab the second shield. Now they're going to be loaded with energy. But you kind of need to just, that's fine. Like, it did its job. I will shield one because 2 drill runs will take me out. So I will give one back, but that is okay. So let's see what I decide to do here. Shadow Ball this for sure. I can't really have Ferrothorn against Scav. So I just kind of have to come in here now. There is a worry that they have something like a Lanturn in the back, and then I'm just kind of drawing dead if I do this. But basically what I'm going to do here is just farm up a bunch so I can get a Thunder off on the Scav as well. But I can't go too far here because now they got to move. So now I have to burn my shield. So this is... I got to hope they have something in the back that Jellicent can deal with. But here we go. Power Whip to take this out. Thunder to chip a ton on the Scav here. They throw. So this is actually okay because they're dumping all their energy. Yeah, it's an air so it's not all their energy. At this point, I just need to hope, quite honestly. The alignment is not in my favor. I did grab 2 shields at the front end, but I just need to hope that in the back end here, I can take it. And it is a gold duck. And they caught a surf. So now it's farm as much as I can. And this is where fast move timing comes in. Getting the Hex and Shadow Ball off before that confusion registers to take me out. So I can take that out. 1 more Hex and a surf to take this out. So nice catch by them. Nice farming as much as I could by me to make sure I can get to that surf to take them out there. And that was just to get to a 3-2. So that one got me to 3-2, which got me to 29.92. Yeah. So 29.92. Gastron. Sorry, 1 sec. Jesus. Okay. Mud Boys. You're pretty much staying in with anything. If you're ABA weak to fighting, you have to stand against fighters. Mud Boys are one you can leave. Quagsire, Gastrodon, just go into Jellicent. So that's why I'm going into Jellicent. They're staying in, so I will get a Shadow Ball off. I don't know how bulky this thing is, so I just want to throw the Shadow Ball just to see how much it does. And then like, okay, now it's in surf range. They're not getting out, so I'm like, okay, maybe they're weak to Jellicent in the back. I'll probably shield this. So I shield up an Earth Power, so that's nice. They have a Melmetal, so I'm hoping that Melmetal in the Great League is glassy enough I can just go back-to-back surfs here. I'm expecting a Rock Slide Superpower combo, right? So having Superpower is going to be a little tough for my Togedemaru and my Ferrothorn. So get the surf off here, hoping it would take out. It does not take out. So now I'm like, okay, they got Superpower. I need to shield. But like if the Gastrodon comes back in, I'll have a move, and then maybe I can get to the Ferrothorn, stuff like that. So out comes Magcar Go. So there's your 4 Thundershocks, as I'm thinking, like, what the heck do I have to do here? And what I have to do is a double bait. So there's 1, get the two Thundershocks off, and then a second Fell Stinger. And now we're going to get 2 Thundershocks off and a Wild Charge. Or actually just 1 is all I need. So I get 2 baits, 2 shields, Wild Charge, double boosted attack. They absolutely delete me, but now I get the Ferrothorn to align here. So this was in the last set to Legend, so that was one of them. And now the Mantine comes in here. Out comes a Quagsire. And this was match number 4. I was 2-1 up at this point. I was 2-1 in the final set, and this was match 4. So I'm like, okay, great lead, great switch. I can definitely take this out. Little did I know that this Shadow Quag in the 2 shields beats Ferrothorn. So I'm like, I can live 1 here. That's fine. Get to this move, take it out in the 1, and they shield. I'm like, okay, can I get to another power before they get to 2 Mud Bombs here? Or can I just Bullet Seed down? Because these Bullet Seeds are adding up a lot too. So I'm like, probably. Not counting, not knowing where everything is here. And the answer is no, I cannot. So they take it in the 2 shields. I'm like, okay. Togedemaru seems like the most sense because I can just come in, Thundershock, get to almost a Wild Charge. And then if they come in there, I'm okay here. So out comes Ferrothorn. So I have 2 options here. I can try and get to 2 Wild Charges and hope they don't CMP me because then they're going to take me out. Or what I do is I throw the Fell Stinger to boost my attack, knowing that they're probably going to dump right after, thinking it may be a Wild Charge. So they dump their energy. So now I know I'm going to outpace to the 2 Wild Charges. So they're caught in their animation, which means that I'm going to win CMP here. So Wild Charge to put it low, Wild Charge to win CMP, because now we're just throwing the charge move at the same time. And now, even though I'm 4 times lowered, Wing Attack is not going to take me out, and a 2 times boosted Togedemaru is going to absolutely 200% destroy this. So that got me to a 3-1. So I'm like, is 3-1 good enough to hit Legend? But let's take a look at the match number 5. So Ferrothorn lead, which is, again, okay. I've played this out before. I usually Fell Stinger once. knowing that you're just going to outpace and a power whip does not take you out on the first one. So I'm boosted. They'll get you a power whip. I probably need to invest a shield, but then I should be able just to outpace in like the 1s and 2s here. So get to the wild charge. Won't be enough to take it out. They throw right there, which is fine. I get a full Thunder Shock through. That's kind of their only option unless they want to burn a shield. So that I'm going to farm up, I guess not a lot. I thought I'd farm up a little more than that. But they let it go. So out comes a Jellicent. So I'm like, okay, that's great. I bait because I'm already boosted. So I figured that I'm going to grab a shield and maybe I can get to a second wild charge here, or like maybe they're scared and force some energy, but they just farm down. Okay, but I can line Ferrothorn on it, take this. And what ends up happening, which I was completely shocked by, is they let this go and it's a Lanturn in the back. So I take this out and then I have a Lanturn that I'm just going to outpace and take out here. So I have no idea why they didn't like fight, grab a shield, bait or something to try to win. But they let me get to Lanturn. So that was a 4-1 there. Kind of a weird play to 4-1 there by my opponent, but 4-1 at that gets me to 30-29. Terrible throw there. So Legend for the 17th time in 18 seasons after missing last season. What changed this season over last season? I think 2 things changed, quite honestly. 3 things, actually. One is your submissions and being able to showcase your teams for, I would say, like 75% of the week allows me to get a team and grind. The second thing is I found 2 teams to grind with. And last season, I said, last season in the Great League meta was the first time I have not found a team to grind with. And you know what? This is the second year in the Great League meta I have not found a team to grind with. I grinded with the Ultra League team coming on this weekend or maybe Monday. So I grinded with that team from 2,500 to 2,850, and then I grinded with this team from 2,850 to Legend in 7 sets that I just dominated with this team. So I found 2 teams that I dominated with that I did not find last season. And the third thing was, I think, a little more joy in the game because I didn't have to do a bunch of teams for videos. So last season, like I said, when I wasn't getting your viewer submissions, because I didn't ask for them, I like kind of always had the link and some people submitted, but I never asked for them like actively like I did this season. So last season, I would have to do a team, 2 sets, showcase it, new team. If it didn't work, crap, I dropped ELO, try a new team, 2 sets, got a team that worked okay, 6-4, showcase it, try a new team. Like, it's just a lot, and it's not as fun when you're just like constantly going from like 1 to 1 to 1 as opposed to learning a team and grinding with it. So being able to, so that was kind of frustrating. So I had more enjoyment this time around when I'm able to find a team. Like that Ultra League team, I played 4 days straight. 4 full sets, days straight. So 20 sets overall over 4 days. And I enjoyed it because I dominated with it. I think over those 20 sets, I maybe lost 4 sets. I think that was, So it was like 16-4 or 17-3 positive sets with that team. And I grinded 350 ELO with it. So that was huge on my route to Legend here. So we'll see what next season holds. Again, I still hate the Great League meta. I would not be surprised if I don't play much this last 3 weeks, just because Fossil Cup Match League is just brutal. Plus, I'm actually gone I'm gone Wednesday through Sunday, so it's actually easy not to play those days. And then next week is Great League, Ultra League, Match League. If I'm playing anything next week, it's either Ultra League to go back to the team I liked, or if I need more, depending on how many videos you guys submit, maybe I'll do some more Great League teams just to do some video submissions. But outside of that, I don't feel the desire to play these last 3 weeks really, because I hate the Great League meta. I still hate it. It has not changed this season. plus just the normal bugs of the game. Although today, the last like 3 or 4 days, the lag and frame drops and something were not as bad for me. So I don't know if they fixed it ahead of the championship this past weekend or what. So anyways, that is Legend. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the video submissions. And I will see you guys in the next one.